Thanks to Ground News for sponsoring today's video. Let's head over to the Eastern Med, where we have additional information about the U.S. Carrier Strike Group's mission. The Gerald R. Ford is in position now off the coast of Israel and will be joined by 2 Royal Navy Axillary ships. These new ships will provide additional helicopter, resupply, and hospital services to the region. Let's take a look at this article. I found this article using ground.news. It's from Sky News, and it says that UK is sending Navy ships and spy planes to support Israel and prevent further escalation. Rishi Sunak also asked for all military teams in Israel, Cyprus, and those across the region to be bolstered to help deal with the impact and instability in Israel following the attack from Hamas. So here are the 2 ships that we were talking about. Here you can see this is an old converted container ship that served in the Falkland Island War, so it served with honor, and it has a complete, fully functional hospital on board and is a heavy helicopter lift ship as well as a supply ship. Let's talk about what ground.news offers you as a viewer of this channel. I want to click on the timeline here. This is a new tool that they've added of the Israeli-Palestine war that's going on right now. And what they've done is they take all the news stories that are out there and they categorize them on this list as to whether they are left-leaning coverage or mostly right-leaning coverage. And you can see recently at time of this recording, the most recent stories have been a little bit right-leaning with just an occasional left-leaning once in a while down here. So the story that we were talking about here is the UK to deploy Royal Navy ships to support Israel by clicking on this link. So you just get the facts drawn from all these sources. This is a very clever tool. One of the great tools Ground News has is called Blind Spot, and you get to it by clicking the Blind Spot link at the top of the web page. This takes you to a new page where it sorts the stories that are only being reported by mostly right-leaning sources and left-leaning sources and sorts them for you. For example, if you're a person that reads mostly left-leaning sources, you may not know about these sources or these stories here on the left-hand side. Let's take a look at one. Women tear down posters of children kidnapped by Hamas and shout, "This is for the children." After you click on it, you see a list of all the headlines and the sources reporting on this. On the right-hand side, you can see the overwhelming right-leaning media sources that are talking about this story. A really important thing for all of you to understand is that Ground News is a tool. It's a tool for you to use when you engage with news media so that you better understand the source bias that you're reading from. Go to ground.news/subbrief to stay fully informed on all the latest naval news in one place and avoid media bias. Sign up or subscribe through my link before October 31st, 2023 for 30% off your unlimited access. Let's head over to Naval Base Ventura County at Point Mugu, California. Here we have Petty Officer Wenheng Zhao, who has pled guilty to conspiring with a foreign intelligence officer and receiving a bribe. Originally, Petty Officer Zhao pled not guilty, and presuming his innocence, we didn't cover that story in great detail here. But now that he has pled guilty, let's talk about what happened. A Chinese intelligence officer paid Zhao nearly $15,000 for information, photos, and video involving naval exercises, operational facilities, plans on a large-scale military exercise in the Indo-Pacific region, and location and timing of naval force movements. Has China not heard of War Thunder? Get it for free over there. The same day that he was arrested back in August of 2023, machinist mate Jin Chao Wei, stationed on board USS Essex here, provided detailed information on weapon systems and aircraft on the ship to a Chinese intelligence officer. And just a few days ago on October 6th, former U.S. Army intelligence officer Joseph Daniel Schmidt, who left the U.S. Army back in 2020, traveled to Istanbul, where he wrote an email to the Chinese consulate saying, "I'm a U.S. citizen looking to move to China, trying to share information I learned during my career in the U.S. Army as an interrogator with the Chinese government." The next day, he created a Word document titled "Important Information to Share with the Chinese Government." And what do you do with self-incriminating evidence like that? He saved it to the cloud from Turkey. He traveled to Hong Kong, where he lived on a tourist visa until that ran out. While he was there, he offered to provide an encryption key he had illegally retained after leaving the U.S. Army for accessing the SIPR NET. That's the Secret Internet Protocol router network the U.S. military uses. He came back to get a legal immigration visa at the United States to permanently move to Hong Kong. When he arrived at San Francisco Airport on October 6th, he was met by authorities and arrested. So a big shout out to everyone over at the DOJ for doing a great job catching these knuckleheads. And how about we stop trying to sell secrets to other nations, and maybe the DOJ will stop throwing your ass in jail. I think we can all agree on that. Hey there, it's Aaron from the future here. How are you? Oh wait, I already know. Hey, so much has changed from the time we make this video to the time you see it. I thought I would pop in and add a quick update. Take a look at this. I want you to watch in the future for Secretary of State Blinken and Secretary of Defense Austin to be visiting Jordan. The country of Jordan is key to striking Tehran. And why would Jordan help the United States? Well, how Jordan goes, so does Tehran. The shortest path to Tehran is not a straight line. It's through Jordan. Let me tell you why Jordan will be helping the United States. Shahid Muwafiq Salti Air Base, or as the Department of Defense refers to it, an undisclosed location in Southwest Asia. In 2016, the United States Air Force began operating unmanned aerial vehicles here. And in 2019, it was officially titled Forward Operating Base Fuller because Congress had authorized just about $200 million to upgrade the facilities here. And for the past decade, Jordan has enjoyed increased foreign aid from the United States, military support and sales. They have access to our markets now, and the political benefits that comes from being on board with the United States. So let's take a very close look at this map. By the time you see this, the Mesa Verde with the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit with Special Operations Command attached will be off the coast of Israel. The Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group will be in the Eastern Med. The Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group that's scheduled to be relieved will probably still be in the Med there. And off the coast of Iran in the Gulf of Oman is the USS Bataan Amphibious Ready Group with a bunch of Marines that have been at sea a long time, ready to go ashore and break things. This puts the United States in a fantastic position. All right, so I want you to know that I know how all this ends, and it's going to be fine, and you probably want the Powerball numbers, so let me get those for you for October 21st. Anyway, click the link in the description before October 31st to support the channel and get 30% off your Ground News Unlimited Access subscription. And thanks to Ground News for supporting this channel. Gene, what do you think of that knucklehead that wrote a document saying things I want to tell the Chinese government about my time in the Army as an interrogator? And yes, I am typing on my desk as I talk to you. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. He might as well have written his own affidavit, his own arrest warrant. He might as well have titled that Word document, Things I Want to Go to Jail For. And then he saved it to the cloud. The cloud is simply someone else's computer. That someone else is probably the NSA, who gave it to the DOJ. Many cloud services are very secure, all the way until the point the federal government has a search warrant, and then they're just handing over your data. There isn't a VPN or a cloud service in the world that's going to save your ass from the Department of Justice.